Hey Mark, how's it going?
I'm good. Are you having a good day?
No.
It's good. It can only get better.
Oh,
It
yes,
can
that
only
is
get
true.
That's you gotta look at it. Look at the bright
Yeah.
side, it can get better.
Yeah.
So we're gonna go through some interesting numbers that you put together. So thanks for doing that. I think it's gonna be really good for the viewer to kind of match up timelines to different government regulations, spikes in the market, demand, oversupply, undersupply, pricing going crazy, pricing decreasing, where's it going to? So a lot of numbers to go through today that will help maybe explain things, we'll explain things where they're going now. We don't know one knows, but we have an
Well,
idea.
and
Oh,
we've been getting a lot of comments that the market's crashing or the market's going to keep going down and like I wanted to do this exercise to find out like I know and in 2017, 2018 because we were active agents that it was horrible then.
there's some tricky times in those markets, right? That slowed some things down. We've seen it. We've seen some high prices and then whoa.
Yeah, but I mean, this isn't. We're not experienced the worst it's been, and I mean, even 2018, so 5 years ago was worse than we are today.
Mhm,
But
mhm.
people think the world's ending today.
Wow, that's it. Because some of them don't know what they're talking about, right? And they're not looking at the numbers and the data. They're just thinking, oh, it's real bad and everybody's in trouble and everyone's gonna go bankrupt. Well, that ain't the case.
No, so I went back all the way down to 2017.
So explain some things. Go through the count, go through the
So what I
thing.
did was I went through every single month and I went through how many solds and how many actives they were.
Okay.
Now, one thing I can tell you in the last since 2017, which is how many years ago? 6, 7,
11. Yep.
7 years ago.
Mhm.
We have never had this much inventory on the ground.
Yeah, there's a lot of inventory out there. There is.
762 is the highest.
But also too, we have to think about too, is how much new building has gone on from 2017 to now. I
Lots.
mean, quite a bit, quite a bit more inventory when we look at it, right? We got Bear Creek Ridge. We got prep builds on off of Young Mapleview, massive condo developments, right? What do we got? We got
ESSA, Leggett.
yeah, ESSA Leggett, those little areas.
Oh, the
Piercy's
South.
South End. What else we got? We
Look
got
at all those condos and all that stuff in the South.
hotels. We got lots, right? We got a lot of buildings up there. Bear Creek Ridge. We got a lot of new development, so there's more product on the marketplace.
And Mark, more population.
100%, 100%. We're at 100. This hasn't been updated, but we're probably about 152,000 people in the community.
Right?
We go back to 2017. I bet that we're take that down another 30K,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So, community's growing. It's gonna see that. We're kind of fortunate right now that we didn't see a lot of, yeah, considering how much more inventory is on the market, it's not really reflecting in the sale prices for into 2024.
No, the
Not
sale prices don't seem
quite
to be going down that much.
no.
And in 2017, we had 2,530
Yeah,
sold.
yeah.
The active number did get high, but at 680 is the highest.
That's listing side actives. Okay, for what?
Yes.
Um,
And overall in the year, there was 1,347,
mhm.
which was a good year. Or sorry, 2,530, which is that's a decent amount. Wasn't
Absolutely.
bad.
Well, if you look at, yeah, and looking at some, look at some of the sales here, look at, again, obviously this is January and this is December, but you look at kind of, not a lot of product.
Well, no, look at the 90 sold. And everybody could say, oh my God, only 90 sold.
Yeah,
But there was only 81 on the market.
100%. There's no product, which is kind of normal
So you had bidding wars in here, right?
all the time.
And then remember when we saw those bidding wars? Like
Yep.
here, 195 sales, only 294 actives.
Yeah.
And do you remember we saw those bidding wars and then we saw a huge flux of
Yep.
inventory?
Yep.
We went to 553, 672, 669, because everybody was getting like $1 million and everybody freaked out and started, oh my God, I should sell my house.
Yeah, 100% they did.
And then the prices got elevated.
Yep.
And then what happened in 2018?
Well, we know what happened because we have that article on there, right? And I glanced at it yesterday, right? So so at the time, the stress test came in, but you only had to qualify if you were going high ratio mortgage. And what a high ratio mortgage is anything below 20% down payment. Anything above 20%, you didn't have to qualify. And then 18 came along, and then they said everyone now has to qualify for a stress test.
Everybody had to qualify for a stress test.
Yep.
Amortization wasn't allowed to go to 40 years anymore.
I think that might have cut off before then, to be honest.
It could have.
I remember getting one in 2006, and it was like I traded up from Loon, and then I went to Crimson Ridge. And so the price, again, we're talking peanuts the way it was back then. It was not nothing, but the 40-year mortgage worked. Nothing changed when I moved, which is I was used to the same payment, right? Because I amortize it 40 years,
Yeah.
right?
So there was so we had a huge drop to 1964 once the stress test, and here's some mortgage rules, but from 2018, and they're talking about the stress test.
So yeah,
So 10% of Canadians who got an uninsured mortgage between mid 2016 and mid 2017 would not have qualified under the new standards.
right.
So the standards kicked the hell out of everybody, and the interest rate went up like over the whole year, like 0.5. So the interest rate didn't really impact this, okay? Just so people know.
It was the stress test, the regulations that impacted the market.
Yeah.
I think government shouldn't, in our government does a great job. Again, I do like some tight lending things in a hot market. I do think they're valid for the stability of the market in the future. I think it's great. But when we're in a down market, why are we making people suffer? Why are we making people go through this qualifying at higher rates? Rates are coming down. Well, why do we need a stress test? But in times when they're really low, we know they're not going to be there forever. I think it's safe. And
well, and you know the other thing too, Mark. So at the midway point in 2018, we had 973 sales, and now we're at 1,273.
right. But and we're only at June.
Yes. And in 2023, we had 1,429 at the midway point. 2022, oh, this can't be right, can it?
I don't know what those numbers are, but there's the year for 2023 right there, these red ones. Right.
Hold on. 1,434. These are the 6-month mark.
Okay. I see.
So like in 2021, it was 1,203, 2020, 1,203, 2019, 1,063, 2018, 973.
Yeah.
And we're at 1,273.
Yeah.
So yeah, are we down over 2022 and 2023? Yes.
But we're not down that much.
We're not down that much when you look at the 4 prior years before that.
Correct. I think year to date, we're down 5.5% on freehold properties in Barrie. So compared to last year transactions, and we're not seeing, I'm going to say a point or two off from the numbers of last year at best. We're not seeing our sale prices are down 20% or 10%. We're not seeing that.
Well, and actually the sales, like I said, they're down huge. But even looking at 2021 and 2020, Mark, at the halfway mark, we were at 1,200.
Yeah.
We ended up at 3,600.
Yeah.
Look at the flip and jump all of a sudden.
Yeah.
So what this kind of proves is the government and the lending rules, it's affecting us more than the interest rate.
Right now it is. I think the rates are impacting our business today in 2024, the rates. And combined with the stress test in there as well as
Right.
That's a whammy. But when we go to the COVID times, rates went down, the sales ballooned up. That's a big number. That's a big number. Look at these two big numbers in 2021.
I
They're big
know.
numbers. 2022, the party was over in March, after March came along. So look at, March was the last good month, and then look at the numbers compared to 2022 sales. Massive.
I
50
know.
double digits, you know. So, but we didn't see, we've seen, in that COVID switch of a market correction, we saw anywhere 30%. Our average is probably 30%, right?
Yeah, it's already gone down that.
It's already gone down that, right? So when we see comments and we hear people going, "Oh, we're going to see another 50% to go," no, we're not. Unless something catastrophic, happens, and I
My
can't see
camera
that.
fell. Well, the other thing too is, Mark, the government could increase amortization. The government could reduce the stress test. Like, there's a lot of things that could happen tomorrow that could change this whole thing in a heartbeat.
Yeah, this Liberal government's not doing anything because they want Canadians pushed down the garbage cans. So they don't want that. That's never happening. Well, I think if we see a change of government, we may see some lending policies change, but I think you're going to see financial institutions, the big five, when some of these mortgages come due and people can't, the rates aren't going to go down rapidly, right?
Well,
We're
the
not,
most mortgages are going to renew in 2025.
right. So the bank,
So if they don't do something before then,
correct. And there's a lot of people out there telling you folks, there's a ton of, look at the sales. Look at the sales in 2021 and 2020 here. They're massive. They're massive. 2022 stopped it. The party stopped in March, but some of them are coming up for renewal. And we
this is
know
it.
the prices haven't gone up. It's not happening.
And it's kind of interesting to me that look at in certain months of the year. You know what I mean? Like certain months that you didn't think was busy didn't do bad at all.
No, let's look at July. Let's look at July even last year, because 205.
205, 145, 273, 399, 208, 176. So it's all over the place.
So if we just go back to 205 and look where we were at 2022, not a bad July last year. We saw the numbers pretty. Last year was a good little run. We saw that run,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
We saw that run.
And August too, like 194 last year, 176, 219,
Yeah.
350,
Mhm.
and then 215, 195.
Yeah.
You see what I mean? Like you can't even some of the Januaries and stuff shock me. 178, only 100 active. 173, only 107 active.
Hot market.
And
Crazy.
this is January.
Yeah. That number could have been double, triple that, the amount of demand that was out there. There was
I
a ton
know.
of demand out there in those
Yeah.
COVID times, and we can see it by the numbers,
Yeah. So it's not necessarily just the month of the year. It's kind of supply and demand and what's going on in the market. If the market's going crazy and everybody's wanting to buy or do something right now, it didn't matter if it was January or February.
there was buyers all over the place.
Yeah.
We worked it. There was buyers all over the place.
Yeah.
No inventory everywhere.
Well,
No.
and then look, all of a sudden in April, remember we went to lockdown in March, I think.
Right, March, April, that's more of April into March, kind of, yeah, that's what the thing.
So what happens? We go down to 92.
Yeah, Matt, and we did back in the March, 242 sales, 92 in April. And then 6-7 weeks, boom, back up. That's when things started to take off again.
Yeah, now it's going crazy. Now we're in the 399, 350. Now we're going total opposite.
Governments across the world flatline rates to nothing, shot demand up. Then, the US had their inflation numbers say that inflation came down 0.1%, right? So they're kind of excited with it. The financial markets aren't showing it today, but inflation's coming down. They're gonna do a rate cut. You're gonna probably see one in September there, right? And I think we're gonna do one, it's another one in September, because our economy is cracks all over it,
Yeah,
so.
we're not gonna see one in July. I think
I don't
September is
think so.
gonna be it.
I don't think so either. It's not gonna happen. September, I think, is the one.
But see how many external factors affect this?
It does, and I think governments shouldn't be pointing their nose on certain things. They shouldn't be interfering. To me, that's interference in a market, right? I don't think you should have that. The US doesn't have this crap of stress tests, right?
No.
Of
Well, and that,
looser lending restrictions, looser lending over there, and we knew what happened in the financial crisis. We know that was devastating, but you know, I think there has to be a bit, but I don't know. I think we're just overregulated here in this country, and in every industry, right? We're heavily regulated in real estate in this country with it, in mortgages and a mortgage housing corp, we're insured mortgages 25 years. Open it up. There's young people that want to buy homes today that get their feet wet. Let them get in there, because we're not doing that. That liberal government keeps saying fairness. We want fairness from demographics. Well, then help out that generation. Open
well,
up.
that's what I was gonna say is they can manipulate it to make it easier if they wanted to.
Oh yeah, they can. Yeah, they can. They can. And I don't think
And
it's happening anytime soon.
and the other thing is, if you look at all these years, the 2022, even 2023, like you could, well, you see you see um a huge bump here that was crazy, and then you see drop.
It dropped in 2022. We had a massive run in 2020, 2021, and to March of 2022. And then we saw the transactions come down. Look at the transactions from 2022 to 2021. Almost half.
Huge.
Huge. But overall, again, we saw a big, over
But
1,300.
you know what the other thing is, Mark? If all these people bought in 2021 and 2022, or sorry, 2020 and 2021,
Yeah.
how many are selling already?
Some are.
Well, they say normally the turnover is at least 5 years.
Normally, but not.
So if you have a big, huge influx, wouldn't it make sense that you're going to have a slowdown after it? Because those people aren't buying again and selling right now.
No, I think if the rates are, I don't agree with that part. Yes, they normally don't know, but they normally, every 5 years or whatever, we see some turnover in that. But with the amount of, with the rate factor coming into it, the tightening, kill demand, transactions are down from 2021, 2022, 35%. That's a big number.
Well,
Right?
we're gonna be even down
Massive.
more
Oh, we
now
are.
from
Right, we can't.
2023.
I agree, but we won't. We're looking at as more as what's happening in 2023 and where it is now. I think the market's is okay. It's not doing much in a sense of the condo market's destroyed, as far as I'm concerned, but the freehold market's pretty still within 5-6% of transactions down. We don't know. We could have a gangbuster fall market here. We don't know. Right?
Well, what's the difference between 1429 and 1273? What's the percentage?
What's that? Hey, Gracie.
Yeah.
%11% year-to-date transactions.
So yeah, so we're down 11
Percent. That's still not that bad. I mean, it's not bad. We've had a slow, couple months, slow July, but the cost of living, I don't see the cost of living coming down fast. They keep saying inflation's coming down. We're seeing a bit of it, but we don't see it at gas pumps. Gas is $1.65, 67, I think, today.
I know.
You go grocery shopping and we're not seeing the price of food coming down very much. In other categories we are, but it's still expensive to live today, right?
Ridiculous, Mark.
Ridiculous. So people got to watch their money, right? And saving up for down payment or trading. I think we'll see once we see some people input properties that maybe bought. Here's where the deals were. Right
Where?
here. Right, April, May, when COVID came, here's where they really dropped down.
Yeah.
2 months for deal making days, right? And then look what happens, you know,
Well, if we look at the pattern,
compared to 19. Like,
if we look at any kind of pattern happening, this is going to go back up.
it always does.
Yeah.
Markets like to follow. Markets like to do this. They follow financial markets all the time.
I
And
know.
to retrace, it's called, right? So, and
I want to check something else here.
you know,
Like look at in 2017, 2530. And I would say 2017, it got crazy because there wasn't a lot of inventory, but then,
strong market.
but then everybody sees crazy prices and bidding wars, and then there's huge inventory.
Sometimes, but other times we don't though. We see in COVID time, God, give me 10 townhouses. I'll sell them all tomorrow within 5 minutes. Or no, that's not happening today. Just demand was so strong, Diane. It was massive. Everybody was buying, right?
Yeah.
Like 30, 40, 50 offers on properties. Are you crazy? And I remember getting a call from a past client, and he bought a property. God, what was this? This is 2020, 2022-ish, I'm thinking. Yeah, let me think. Yeah, it was in November, October-ish, I think. And he was really excited about buying this property in Springwater for 1.3 and change. Because I've just dropped off the check and I'm kind of, doing it. And I went, you're making a mistake? What do you mean? These rates aren't going to stay this way forever. Look at the run we've had.
Yeah.
It's going to have to come down. It's just going to. And what happened 4 months later? It came down. He got out of it. He had the cooling off period and he exercised it. I'm out. Go get your deposit. Because I gave him, do you want to make some hard decisions? Do you want to move if you have to close this property, which you're going to have to, and it could be down a couple $100K. What are you going to do? Do you want to sell your beautiful property that you love so much now? I never want to move. There you go. There's your answer. You may be forced to move. So get out of that deal. Get out of that deal.
Well, and you know what, Mark? I found at that time we had way more people walking away from deals. We had way more builders who totally stopped building.
When? What year?
2018.
Oh, 2018. Yeah, there was it because the regulations changed.
Because the regulations changed and people that had pre-bought could not qualify now.
Right, because of the stress test.
Yes. So, and you can only get a qualification for 90 to 120 days.
Yeah.
So if you bought a year ago, they couldn't even get your mortgage until 3 to 4 months before closing.
Yep.
So now all of a sudden everybody's going to get their mortgages.
Yep.
And they can't get them.
Get them. No.
So they just totally stopped building.
Right. Well, they had to because demand wasn't there.
And people couldn't pay for the flipping houses they already had built.
Right. Right.
I found that a lot more volatile than what we have right now. I remember that.
It was very volatile, right? I find the market right now, the real estate market right now is not volatile.
It's slow.
Slow, it's stable, it's doing its course, right? But I do expect a pickup once we see some rate relief. I do.
I do too.
We're all gonna say it. It's so true. We're gonna see it, right? And then some of those mortgages who people are in properties that they bought in 19 and 20 going, hey, we're coming due now. Really in 20, so they bought there next year. If they were smart, they would have gone and start paying down and take advantage of that 1.75 rate or whatever they got. Just take advantage of it, right? And I have a young couple that I'm working with, and we talk, when I first met them a year and a half ago, they were homes and they want to buy their properties. What's your mortgage? What? And your income? Okay, you gotta start pounding it down. Maximize all your prepayment options. Maximize them yearly lump sums, no kids, 6 figures plus. Take advantage of that. So when
Yeah.
you're sitting on great equity positions still, and you're paying down. That demographic who's in that position, maybe they have a child, maybe they're saying, we've rapidly paid it down, we've taken full advantage of this great rate we've had. Now it's time to move up because we're outgrowing this house. That may happen too, but would they want to change that mortgage now? I know I wouldn't. You're not in your life. That
No,
would,
exactly. You might as well sit there. And you know, that one listing and that I have that's a lower price. I'm getting a lot of agents talking to me. They're all first time buyers.
that price point, yeah. Yeah, it would be. Right?
People can still afford things.
Yeah, and well, for sure, it's that price point that's, for low sixes or mid six range or whatever. It's, it's a younger demographic moving in there.
You can put 5% down.
Yeah, yeah,
And if
100%.
you both have decent, good jobs,
Yeah,
even
yeah.
one really good one and one crappy one does it.
No, I know it could work, right? Because the market will come back. And there's a lot of naysayers that are saying the opposite. Well, okay, well, go look at the numbers we just presented you. Markets
It-
like to go up and down, cyclical, they'll do it. They'll make runs and they'll come pullbacks and they'll be back up.
And it's been a hell of a lot worse than it is right now.
Yeah. So no, thanks for doing that. Good. I think some people got some idea of how some regulations change demand and supply,
Yeah.
right? Like we've seen it. We
And
went through some years and showed that
and
they were
it can happen the reverse.
100%, 100%, right? We could be reporting numbers next year or midway through next year going, holy cow, look, and we'll keep updating that spreadsheet because it's nice to talk about because we remember the years because we talk about the numbers so much. Right, we'll be able to, see that pattern, but right now, I think the market's holding in on the freehold market.
It's not horrible.
It's not as bad as everybody thinks it is, but I do believe there's some wrong pricing in the marketplace. There's a lot of wrong pricing,
And it's slow.
and it's slow.
The demand, the demand right now isn't hugely high. It's just not.
No, it's July right now. They're on holidays.
I know.
Holidays are going away. Okay, well, thanks for doing that. It's awesome. And remember, any questions on Simcoe County, area Barrie, reach out to Dan and myself and hit the follow
Like,
button.
subscribe, yes.
Send
Or
information.
drop us a comment if you have any questions.
Yeah, drop away. We'll answer them.
Perfect.
See ya. Have a great
See
day.
ya.